everybody. I'm Delegate Ken Plum. Welcome to our show, Virginia Report. Periodically, we revisit our criminal justice system and take a look at the kind of reforms and changes that are occurring in it to better serve our citizens. I'm pleased tonight that we're going to take a look at a very, very important innovation that has occurred in the Fairfax system, has been also occurring in other systems throughout the state and the country. We're talking now about the Veterans Treatment Docket. Two gentlemen who are pioneers in this in Fairfax are going to talk to us about what that program's all about and why it came into existence. Don Northcup, welcome to our show.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. And Tom Davis.
Thank you.
Why don't you take a couple of minutes to tell us about your background so that we'll understand how it is that you got an interest in the Veterans Treatment Docket and your involvement with it.
Well, I'm a veteran myself, of course, and I served in the Air Force from 1967 to 73, and then later went into the Army, was commissioned in the Army. And so I've always had an interest in veterans issues. And 3 years ago, this topic was introduced to me, the Veterans Treatment Docket, by Judge Penny Azcarate, a Marine Corps veteran herself. And she was asking for people who wanted to join the team, come on and get this done. And I raised my hand. And here I am today.
Tom, your story.
Yeah, I'm a retired Navy pilot. I was in the Navy for 28 years.
Okay.
I retired in 95. Actually, I was with Don at a veterans celebration when the judge came up and talked to us. And so Don asked me if I'd be interested in being one of the first mentors. And I agreed to do that. And so I now run the mentor organization within the court system.
Good. Well, thank you all both for your service to our country and your continued service to our country and those men and women who served but who now find themselves sometimes in challenging situations. So, quick overview, Don, if you would, about the Veterans Treatment Docket. What is that? When docket means?
Docket means we're not a court. And in Virginia, a court has a very specific legal meaning. We are a docket of the General District Court. Also, we are a docket of the Circuit Court. So we have a subordinate role within those two courts. Our program began really 3 years ago when Judge Penny Azcarate came to the Veterans of Foreign Wars post in Fairfax Station, where I'm a member and she's a member also, and said, let's do this thing. It's happening around the country, and we need to do this in Fairfax County. She was at that time Chief Judge of the General District Court. And a number of us said, yes, we want to work on this with you. And she began putting together the necessary team of people who normally in the criminal justice system, in the courtroom, are going at each other. It's not a very, usually the courtroom is not a very collegial or collaborative place.
Right.
But in veterans treatment programs, all those component parts begin to work as a team to achieve the necessary goal, which is treatment for the veteran offender. So she put together a team, we went through training, we visited a site in a court in Rochester, New York, and prepared, and then in February of 2015, we held really our first session. And since that time, we've been holding sessions twice a month on the second and fourth Thursdays at Fairfax County Courthouse, courtroom 1E at 2 p.m., and it lasts about an hour. And it's an open courtroom. Anybody can come in and see what's going on and form their own opinions of it. But a lot of what is done is also done outside of the courtroom because we have involvement from the Veterans Administration. We have a dedicated veterans justice specialist assigned to us. We have representatives from the Sheriff's Department, the Public Defender, the Commonwealth's Attorney, Community Service Board, and we all work together and being also supplemented by members from the various veterans organizations who work as mentors. And mentors are an important part of this.
If we could, before we go on, talk a little bit about it. What is it that the judge observed in the normal course of General District Court as that she was heading then and so on that led her to believe based on her own experiences, of course, in the military as well, for the need for a specialized docket.
Well, I think she became aware of what was going on around the rest of the country. The first Veterans Court actually was in Buffalo, New York in 2008. Judge Russell presided over a drug court up in Buffalo. And he saw a need for veterans to be handled in the courtroom in a different sort of way. And he began the first Veterans Court. And since that time, there are, I've heard, as many as 300 veterans treatment programs in courtrooms around the United States now. And matter of fact, I just got back from the Veterans Court Conference, which was in California in June. And there will be 5,000 people there studying diversionary programs, mental health programs, drug programs, veterans court programs. So this is something that's happening all over the United States.
Wonderful. Now, Tom, obviously it's in a courtroom setting, so some incident has occurred that brings a veteran to court. What, if you could generalize what the needs are and so on that brings a veteran to court?
Well, there are many things that bring a veteran to court. Military service is not easy. It's very hard.
Yep.
Long deployments, combat training. It takes a cost on a human being, both male or female. Yeah. Okay. This will cause problems at home. It causes problems with the individual. In combat, the individual may be suffering from PTSD, which essentially is combat-related stress. Okay, all these things build up into the veteran themselves. He or she then may find themselves in a position where they're abusing alcohol, abusing drugs, which then leads to other things that creates the court environment. Okay, either breaking law, being arrested for DUIs, DWIs, whatever. Okay, so when they come to us, okay, as a veteran, as a mentor coordinator, I try to match mentors to them, okay, so that we have a person that's assigned to them to be able to help them go through the court. And if you'd like, I could talk a little bit later on about the mentor
Sure.
process.
Yeah, let's do that. But in the meantime, Donald, let's also talk a little bit about what happened before the treatment docket. A veteran is in trouble. They end up in the general district or circuit, depending on what they've been involved with. What would have happened before the treatment docket?
As a veteran, nothing. They would have been
Nothing special.
Gone through the same criminal justice system as everyone else, because the criminal justice system hasn't been looking really at causes. They're looking at the offense. And so rather than focus on the offense, we try to look at what's the cause of the behavior, apply the necessary treatment, and change the behavior. And society winds up being safer, there's less cost, and the recidivism rate is diminished. And these are proven successful programs from evidence around the country.
I was going to say, at your conference, you no doubt heard many success stories of what is coming about as a result of the treatment centers.
Oh yes, I mean and you can go on YouTube and put in Veterans Treatment Court, and these stories will come up. The news media have done any number of stories on these around the country, and so the information is readily available, and there are some very moving tales of lives changed, families restored. We had a recent graduate who, after 16 months, he spent 16 months in our program, and when he came in to our program, he had not spoken to most of his family, including his children, in years. The contact was broken. But through the treatment he received, the understanding he gained about his own behavior, he was able to reestablish that contact with his family. And that's one of the most heartening things. It's how not only the individual we see, but there are family members out there that we will never see, who are impacted by these programs.
Now, Tom, you have mentioned, and we've heard already, that part of that treatment is, in fact, mentorship.
That's correct.
Assigning a veteran to someone else who can provide support. You run that program for Fairfax. Talk a little bit about how that works.
Well, first of all, it's a very rewarding program to manage. The blue shirt I wear, all of our mentors wear the same blue shirt. It's our uniform.
Yeah.
If you come to court, you'll see the 25, 30 mentors lined up in their shirt behind the veteran they're supporting. When a veteran comes to us, what I try to do initially is to match a mentor to the veteran based on various things, one of which is what was the military service, whether it was Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, that they served in. If the individual is prior enlisted or an officer, I try to match those two things up, okay? Also, combat. Not all of our veteran mentors have combat experience. So if a veteran comes to us that has combat experience or has experienced combat, we try to match the person that has experienced combat to that individual also. The job of the veteran is to be at the call of the mentor is to be at the call of the veteran 24/7. Okay, the veteran knows that he can call this individual over the 12 to 18 months that they're together, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and ask for help in any way he needs it. And help can be anything. I need help moving to another apartment. I need help to get to my medical appointments, those kind of things. And that's what the mentor there to do, and also to sit down and listen to him. Right. Now, the mentor has nothing to do with the court. In fact, there's a big firewall between the mentor and the court, and the mentor and the services being provided medically to the veteran. Okay. The mentor's job is to be a one-on-one contact with the veteran, okay, and urge him and continue to help him go through the program over the 12 to 18 months that they're there. Mm-hmm. We have been very successful at recruiting veterans. That's my job. Once we recruit them, then we train them. And then once we train them up, then we continue to train them, and then we assign them to a mentor where there's a match in the areas that I talked about.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes I suspect you have situations where you wonder who gets the greatest reward. Is it the mentor or the client?
That's true. I was a mentor for 18 months. Mm-hmm. In fact, the person I was mentoring is getting ready to graduate. You learn a lot about yourself from that veteran. Mm-hmm. We've been through the same things. He was in combat, I was in combat. He was an aviator, I was an aviator. And we would talk about the experiences we had and what we felt about that. Yeah. And by talking to that veteran, you see a lot of things that are inside you that come out too.
Sure.
And it helps me too.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. When you say someone has completed the program, what would be the measure of which someone would have completed the program?
Well, in the beginning, the veteran sits down with the court, okay, and he identifies in a contract actually those things that he has to do in order to graduate from the program. The judge then tracks that along over the 12 or 18 months and helps the veteran make decisions on what to do next as far as being able to complete the program. Once that program is completed, which is stated in the contract, then the judge and other people decide as a team whether he's ready to graduate, he or she is ready to graduate.
What would be typical things that might be in a contract that you would have to do?
Treatment.
Okay.
Number one is treatment. Okay. We have to treat the cause first, okay, whether it's alcoholism or drug addiction or psychological problems or whatever. Mm-hmm. Because they're honorable discharge, the VA facilities are open to them, and we will schedule VA treatment for these individuals over 4, 5, 6, 7 months. Okay. Mm-hmm. Once they graduate from that, then there are things from a personal point of view that the judge and the team identify that they have to complete. Whether it's setting up an educational program, setting up a job program, or whatever, to be able to transition back into a normal lifestyle after they graduate.
Wonderful.
Veterans in our program are highly supervised, more so than if someone else in any other general district court, because they are coming in, seeing the probation officer 2-3 times a week, taking drug tests 3 times a week, and participating with the mentor, with the Veterans Administration people. And so there are any number of people who are always watching them, and also they're helping them get through the program. And the contract will specify such things as treatment, but also expectations of sobriety. And our expectation in this program is that someone is moving towards sobriety. You know, alcohol and drug use is not permitted in this program. And so you have to work on that. And it's a work in progress at all times.
Anybody charged that, well, we're letting people off easy?
Oh, I
Somebody
hear that
committed a
all the
crime?
time.
Yeah.
That, and why do veterans need something special?
Right.
But no one's getting off easy.
Right.
As I said, they are highly supervised, more so than the typical population, and they are receiving that which is actually needed, and those benefits they have earned by military service that are provided by the Veterans Administration. We do not, there's no charge to the county for this program, really. That they're not providing medical services. They're providing criminal justice facilities and services that they would be providing anyway. Mm-hmm. But our goal is to bring a halt to that behavior and those offenses.
When you take a look at the complications of local, state, and federal government and all the programs and services, it's a jigsaw puzzle to try to figure out how you get into that. I suppose one of the things that you and your mentors are doing is helping people figure out what is a Veterans Administration service that I could call upon and use. Is that part of what's happening?
Yes, it is. We have several organizations outside the Veterans Association, and of course the VA itself. We have a person from the VA that actually sits on the court. Okay. And is part of our team, okay? And she keeps us knowledge about what the veteran is doing, what stage he's in, and where he's going, and what his next appointments are, and stuff like that. If the veteran has other things that he needs to have done, we have other organizations, especially here in Virginia, that are there to help the veteran decide how to best get into a program that could help him or her be able to make their life better.
Mm-hmm. Now, I trust that we've got people watching who might either themselves recognize the need of service, or they might recognize that they know someone in their family or in their community who would need a service. How do you make that initial connection? Is it necessary that you be to the court, or is that how you get your referrals from the court itself?
The referrals actually come from a number of sources. Every day there's a census of the jail, and that information is fed to our representative at the Veterans Administration. She has a database and can determine who is a veteran and who is eligible. Okay. And so I look at that and determine by who would be eligible for our program, who is ineligible because of the offenses. If there's a crime of violence, they're not going to be eligible. I will get I get calls from lawyers who are defending someone. We get the referral sheets from the magistrates in the morning who went through the magistrate's office at night. And I do get calls from people, veterans, who want information and can they enter the program. So it comes from any number of sources.
Now we are going to put up, I think, the Fairfax County government website, and if you go to that website, you can go to the Fairfax Veterans Treatment docket, and then from that gain additional information.
Correct. Or the simple way is to Google Fairfax Veterans Treatment docket.
There you go,
and it'll come
you
up.
Take it directly.
Yes.
And Tom, now you are interested in veterans who want to be mentors, because in order to be a mentor, you have to be a veteran.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes, we are, and we get them from various sources. Don and I spend a lot of time at meetings and at various organizations talking about the mentor program, and we get volunteers from that. Word of mouth is very important to us. We get that all from a bunch of areas. So the answer to your question, we're interested in any veterans that are interested in becoming mentors, no matter what their background. okay? And they can contact me. If you go to the website, my phone number and my email address are there.
Okay.
And they can contact me directly, and I'll get them going on getting them into the program.
Now, what will be the commitment that the mentor must make? You have to go through training.
Correct.
That requires a certain amount of time. And then how about your commitment in terms of service to the program?
It's purely volunteer.
Okay.
Okay, so there is nothing, no paper you have to sign or anything else like that. We would like to see them stay in as long as it takes to graduate the veteran that they're mentoring. Okay. However, people move.
Okay.
People have other things that they have to take care of, like businesses and things like that, and they then move on. Okay, and then we get another mentor to come in and take their place. So the answer is, it's not 18 months. Okay, any amount of time, whether it's 4 or 5 or 6 months, would be fine with us.
Sure. And the training puts you in a position then of knowing what the resources are, or I guess the mentor is not really making referrals so much as they are providing support, emotional support.
And also looking for resources
Right, like
at all
finding a
times.
job.
There are so many organizations, nonprofit organizations, that provide some level of service to veterans and families.
Yeah.
And it's discovering where these all are.
Yeah, I know.
You know, everyone has a little slice of a pie,
Yep.
and we're trying to piece together the whole picture
Sure.
of what sources are available out there.
Well, congratulations to you on setting up the program and getting it going. What do you see as the future now? Where are you going to be heading?
I hope that by the end of this year, this calendar year, we have actually 20 veterans involved in the program, that we are bigger and stronger, and that I know we are providing advice to other jurisdictions around Virginia who are interested in our program. And I would hope that in the future we see more veterans treatment dockets and courtrooms in Virginia.
Don, can you find things that the docket needs further to be successful? Do you have the components necessary to be successful and grow?
We're learning.
Okay.
Okay, we've been in existence now for almost 2 years. We're far smarter now than we were 2 years ago.
Sure.
Our processes are being developed now and they're becoming more standardized. And in doing that, the management of the program becomes easier. So it's going to be a continuing process to be able, evolution to be able to continue that on. So it's not going to be something and all of a sudden tomorrow we say we're here. 2 years from now, if you ask me, I think we'll still be researching and trying to get the program better and
Sure.
better and better.
And the nature of the veteran changes over time, depending upon their level of deployment, experiences, and so on?
Yes, and and of course the veterans we have in the program, some are younger and some are older. We have some who are Vietnam veterans, and now we have some who are Afghan and Iraq veterans. So the problems go across the generations.
Yeah.
And are not restricted to one age group. Sure. And I hope that we're able to identify more and more veterans who we can bring into our program.
Right.
And getting the word out. Yeah, you would think that everybody knows about us by
Right.
now, but that's not so.
Not so.
And every time there is something in the news about us, we get a response. So we appreciate opportunities like this.
And testimonials on the part of former mentors probably helps too. How much fun or excitement or satisfaction that came from being a mentor?
Satisfaction is a big word.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the part of it. It is not easy being a mentor. And you have to be careful. You don't want to get drawn into the veterans' issues and mental state. You've got to stand above that.
Okay.
and help that individual get their goals done. The satisfaction I've received from it has been tremendous. I can't believe I've been in this program for 2 years. It seems like it's been 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a great deal of satisfaction. I encourage anybody out there that wants to get into a program that will give them new insight not only into a veteran but themselves to sign up for this.
Don Northcutt and Tom Davis, commend you again for starting up this wonderful program, the Fairfax Veterans Treatment Docket. And we invite people who are interested in becoming a mentor, or persons who might know persons who could benefit from the services therein, to go to either the Fairfax County Government website and look up Fairfax Veterans Treatment Docket, or Google that as we say it, and that'll be a contact. And again, thank you for being with us and sharing this important information.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. If you know someone who might need service, or if you want to help out and get the satisfaction that comes from helping others, check out the Fairfax Veterans Treatment Docket. Good night.